Hello friends, how's it going? It's your girl Vijaya. I am so excited because in today's video, I'm gonna be doing a recipe that you guys have been asking for over and over again, and there are a million different variations, and we will get through those million variations together on this channel, friends. But today we are making Tadka Daal. If you don't know what dal is, all it is lentils, and there are a million different varieties. It's such a great source of protein, super healthy when you're not adding ghee like we're going to do today, but it's super tasty and something that you can eat on a daily basis and feel really great about. And the word tadka refers to the seasoning of the dal with hot fat, which is often clarified butter or oil that's seasoned with a whole bunch of different ingredients and spices. And I'm gonna show you the simplest recipe, the most delicious recipe, and you guys will be loving and eating dal all the time. But before we get started, don't forget to hit me up on the gram. That's where you guys can stay up to date with me, my recipes, what's going on in my life. And of course, if you're looking for the full recipe, just click that info box down below and everything you need is there. Let's go make some Tadka Daal, you guys. So let's talk dal. There are so many different varieties of lentils, and today I'm using 3. If you can't find all 3, that's okay. Go in with 2, or if you can only find 1, that is okay as well. And we have red lentils, which are also known as Masoor Daal. We have some split pigeon peas, which are known as Toor Daal. And then we have some Moong Daal, which is also known as, I think they call it yellow lentils, but this is what they look like. 3 different colors, 3 different textures, and they're gonna get nice and creamy when they cook up. And what we wanna do is rinse them with a ton of water just to get rid of any of the impurities. And as you can see, the liquid's getting a little cloudy, and you wanna keep rinsing it until the water runs nice and clear. This is what the lentils look like when they've been rinsed and drained, a kaleidoscope of colors. It looks like an Indian sunset. And now is the fun part. So I don't know that I've done this plenty of times on my channel, maybe once or twice before, but we are going to get one with the Indian pressure cooker, okay? So this is an old school tool, but it's so great. And your pressure cooker doesn't have to be Indian by any means. You can also use that pot that everyone's been using nowadays to get your pressure cooking going. And you're gonna follow the manufacturer's instructions. So here's my tip for you. When we're making lentils, for every cup of lentils, you want 2.5 cups of liquid. In this case today, it's a vegetarian lentil dish, vegetarian dal. So we're gonna be using water. So in go my lentils, followed by the water. All right, so now the lid goes on, like so, and we're gonna pop this onto the stove. So the magic of pressure cookers is that you're gonna turn your heat to high, and then all that pressure is going to be built up inside. And that's what's gonna help our lentils cook faster than if we were to conventionally cook them on a stove with a little bit of water in a pot, right? All that pressure will cook it really quickly. There's a weight on top of the pressure cooker that helps release little bits of steam in between the cooking process so that your pressure cooker doesn't explode. But of course, follow the manufacturer's directions of the pressure cooker that you have to avoid any little accidents here and there, because pressure cookers are quite particular. So this is gonna go onto the stove. I'm gonna increase my heat to high, let a ton of pressure build up, then I'm gonna drop the heat down to low, and then let my lentils cook for about 15 minutes, and that will give it enough time for my lentils to get nice and soft and creamy. Okay, so my dal has cooked for about 15 minutes or so, and I've let the pressure cooker naturally cool down, and all the steam has been naturally released. Again, follow the instructions on your manufacturer's packaging. And now we're gonna open it. Let's see, whoop, and take a look inside. Oh, look at that steam. Okay, so my lentils have cooked up beautifully. Oh, they're nice and creamy. And this mixture is a little thick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the back of my spoon to sort of cream the lentils, and you can see how lovely and smooth they're getting. And I'm gonna add a little additional water. So just wanna thin it out, because as lentils sit, they absorb the liquid even more and they become thicker and thicker. So you want the texture of the lentils to be almost similar to heavy cream, which is what we have here. Beautiful. And now this is ready for the tadka. So we're gonna start off by heating a few spices in our clarified butter, also known as ghee. So I have some dried red chili here, some cumin, as well as Asafoetida, which is known as hing as well, and that's gonna go into the hot ghee. So I have a tiny little pot here that I have heating on medium, and to that I'm gonna add some clarified butter, also known as ghee. So ghee is butter from which all the milk solids have been removed, and as you can tell, I'm being quite generous today. Ghee has so much great flavor, and this is exactly what we're gonna bloom our spices in. If you're looking for a recipe for ghee, I have one on my channel, so be sure to check it out. So we wanna get this nice and hot before we add any spices. So in goes my dried chili, my cumin, and my Asafoetida. There we go. And you just want that cumin to sputter up and get nice and toasty, and for those chilies to puff up. So I have some finely minced onions, some ginger, as well as some garlic, and that's gonna go into the mix as well. Ooh, yes. And that extra ghee in there is just gonna help them crisp up and get nice and tasty very quickly. And we're gonna cook that out until the onions are slightly brown. Next up, I have half of a small Roma tomato going in. So not a ton of tomato, but just enough to give us a little brightness, as well as that beautiful red color. And we're gonna cook them out until they're nice and soft. And the last few spices that we're gonna add once the tomatoes are nice and cooked are some ground coriander powder, which is gonna add a nice citrusy note, a little bit of red chili powder, which is gonna add heat, some ground turmeric, as well as one of my favorite spices of all time, dried fenugreek leaves, also known as methi. We use this in butter chicken as well, so if you love butter chicken, you're gonna love this dal, and this is gonna go into the mix. So my tomatoes are nice and caramelized now, so in goes my coriander powder, the chili and the turmeric, as well as my dried fenugreek leaves. And now we're just gonna saute these spices up for a matter of only 10 to 15 seconds just to help all their flavors bloom, and then into the dal they will go. So I have my cooked dal, in goes my tadka. And now we're gonna give it a nice stir. I love the yellowy orange tinge of the ghee now. You see all of those spices floating to the surface, so nice. Now I'm gonna season things up with a little bit of salt because we haven't seasoned yet. We're gonna give that a mix and then let it come to the simmer. And within a few minutes, we'll have the most perfect, delicious dal. So I poured my dal into a bowl. I'm so ready to dig in. But what I did was I reserved a little bit of that tadka, that little oil, vegetable, and spice mixture, and I like to garnish the top of my dal with a little bit of that, and it's just a reminder of all the ingredients that went in. And of course, just like any great Indian dish, I have some fresh chopped coriander over here, and we're just gonna sprinkle that over the top. And now all this dal is for me. So I'm gonna go in. Oh, so creamy and lush. Look at that, so good. And hopefully it's not too hot. Hopefully it's not too hot. Let's see. My heart feels so good. Oh my gosh. So, oh my gosh. I just said, oh my gosh. I meant, oh my gosh. This is how excited I am. The dal is so nice and creamy. Immediately I get a little kick of heat, but not too much. It's not too spicy at all. And then you get the fresh ginger, the crunch of the ginger. You have the warmth of the garlic, those onions that have caramelized, the tartness from the tomatoes, and all those spices coming together. And for me, the combination of coriander, chili, fenugreek, Asafoetida, the cumin seeds, which add a little crispy bite to it, it just elevates the dal and makes it so, so special. And with dal, you can eat it on its own, which is amazing. You can also have some chapathis or rotis on the side in which you can like dunk and scoop. I have a recipe for chapathis on my channel. Be sure to check that out. Or you can just eat it with some hot basmati rice, and it's absolutely sensational. If you're looking for a great comfort food dish, or this is your very first time making dal, make this recipe. It is so simple and it turns out perfect every single time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to give me 2 dal thumbs up. I hope you know how that makes me feel. It makes me feel really amazing on the inside, actually. And what's the next thing I say? All right, now I'm back on track. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, requests, leave it in the comments box down below. And until my next video, I will see you all later. Bye.